Hey guys, so this is my tutorial for finding the equivalent resistance of a circuit that is mixed. So as you can see, we have a circuit here that has R1 and R2 are in series because there's no junction between them. And then R3 and R4 are attached in parallel. Okay, so we're gonna break this down into parts so that we can figure out the total resistance, which is often measured at the source. It's what the total resistance of the circuit would be if we just had one resistor in there. So we kind of have to break it down. So what we do in these situations is we look at circuits that are in series or in parallel farthest away from the battery to start. So I'm going to start with R3 and R4 together, okay? And because they're in parallel, I'm going to add them in parallel. And what that means is I have to use my Req equals 1 over R3 plus 1 over R4 rule, okay? So it's not a matter of just adding them together, we have to add them like this. And I'm going to call this 1 over R3, 4 as my equivalent resistance between 3 and 4. So that is, these are let's just call them 10 ohms each. So I forgot to put that in the notes, but we're gonna call them 10 ohms each. So 1 over 10 plus 1 over 10. 1 over 10 plus 1 over 10 is 2 over 10. So if we flip both sides, you can do this, or you can just cross multiply. You get R3, 4 equals 10 over 2, which is 5 ohms. Okay, so everything in that yellow gets called 5 ohms. So it's like if we were to write these two resistors as one resistor, their equivalent resistance would be 5 ohms. Okay, and now that is like saying this. So we're saying like R2 is now in series with R3 and R4. And that's 10 ohms and that's 5 ohms. Okay, so and then you of course continue the circuit back to the battery. You don't have to redraw these every time, but it does help to show, like me showing you how to do this. It kind of clarifies what I'm doing. So now I've got 3 resistors, R1, 2, and then R3, 4, which are now all in series together. So then our Req is R1 plus R2 plus R3, 4, which is just 10 plus 10 plus 5, which is 25 ohms. Okay, so the equivalent resistance of this mixed circuit is 25 ohms.